This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of December 5th, 2022. I'm Alex Brown. A student at the University of Notre Dame has launched Pediatric Pep Talk, a tech-based nonprofit that uses an app to connect critically ill children with athletes throughout the country. Max Manick, who plays on Notre Dame's men's lacrosse team, came up with the idea after meeting a young fan battling leukemia.
We ended up putting together a super long video of all my teammates and I. It was just a super uplifting and encouraging video. We put in some highlights from our most recent games, threw in some music, and just put together this video so that all of his brothers could be there with him the morning of his surgery.
The nonprofit is seeking 501c3 status and is already planning expansion to other schools and hospitals in Indiana and throughout the country. Modular Devices Acquisition is planning to create more than 50 jobs in Indianapolis by the end of 2026. The company, which currently employs 27 people, says the new positions will allow it to keep up with demand for its mobile and modular medical imaging labs and cleanroom services. As a going-away gift of sorts, a portion of State Street in West Lafayette has been renamed Mitch Daniels Boulevard as a tribute to the university president who will step away from the post later this month. The city and university trustees agreed to the name change as a tribute to Daniels' leadership and service. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Save the date for IBJ's CFO of the Year event, December 9th at 8 a.m. at the JW Marriott in downtown Indianapolis. Join us for breakfast and an awards presentation as we unveil this year's class of Indiana's top financial executives. Reserve your seat or secure a corporate table to show your support for this year's group of impressive honorees. Learn more and RSVP by December the 5th at ibj.com/events.
This is Gary Dick. Each week, Inside Indiana Business brings you the people, places, and policies that shape the Indiana economy. Be connected with Inside Indiana Business Sunday mornings at 8 on the IIB YouTube channel or check local listings for the show in your area.
A young Central Indiana distillery is marking big growth. Here's Gary Dick.
It was just a year ago that Fortville-based Moondrops Distillery began selling its bottled spirits, and already its products are available at nearly 300 Indiana locations, including Kroger and Meijer grocery stores and 100 restaurants and bars. Now Moondrops has a place to welcome customers on its own turf. On Thursday, the distiller will open a tasting room inside its 9,000 square foot main building on West Broadway Street in Fortville. It will be a place for sampling what Moondrops calls bonfire blends, which feature a mix of corn whiskey, vodka, and rum that's marketed as moonshine. But it will also be a gathering spot to listen to music and get a peek at the still where the liquor is made. The company employs 10 people and expects to produce 6,400 cases of spirits in 2023. Moondrops is one of the latest distilleries to open in Indiana, part of an industry that has been growing since the legislature voted in 2013 to create a special permit that lets spirits makers sell their products on site. Today, at least 20 distilleries are registered with Indiana Grown, a state effort to promote agriculture products grown and made in Indiana. This is Gary Dick for Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Munster-based Community Healthcare System has not been able to reach a contract agreement with Connecticut-based healthcare insurance provider Aetna. If an agreement cannot be reached, Community says Aetna Insurance will no longer be an in-network provider beginning January 15th. The contract termination affects Aetna commercial plans and Aetna Medicare Advantage plan patients. Community says patients already in the midst of care prior to the termination date will likely be provided an opportunity to complete care for a period of time after the termination. Indiana's Secretary of Commerce says Northeast Indiana is poised for continued growth. Brad Chambers was the keynote speaker at the Engage Northeast Indiana event in Fort Wayne, which featured robust discussion on an economy on the move, fueled by more than $1 billion of investment in downtown Fort Wayne. He spoke with Inside Indiana Business host Gary Dick, who moderated a discussion panel in front of a crowd of over 300.
The momentum up here is incredible. Fastest growing community in the Great Lakes region, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Most educated community in the country, or one of the most. Great place for retirees, low housing prices, their GDP is growing. This community has really worked hard, and it is showing up.
Among the major investments in the region is the $286 million first phase of the Electric Works Mixed-Use Innovation District at the former General Electric campus in downtown Fort Wayne. Children's Museum of Indianapolis CEO Jennifer Pace Robinson is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.